Right, hello, my name's Andy, I'm the Ginger Gamer, welcome to episode 5. Right, so in this episode I'm going to show you a few little updates I've done around the map. I didn't time-lapse many of them and record them. Probably the biggest feature probably wouldn't be that interesting to do. Maybe, but anyway, I didn't get around to it. I was quite busy this week with work and other things, so I just kind of cracked on when I had time. But I thought I'd show you the results of the work I have done, and then at the end of the video I'll give you a little idea of what there is left to do and what my plans are. So the first thing I did is take the football stadium, rotate it 90 degrees and then place it right up against the canal, which isn't so out of keeping. I think there's one or maybe even two football stadiums in London, smaller ones, that are quite close to canals, so it does make sense. I've also increased the kind of wooded area by the canal all the way along here. I ummed and ahed about whether to put in some more buildings, but I think actually that looked quite nice. And that runs all the way down to the bridge. Right, so as well as repositioning, I tried to kind of embed the stadium into the map better and add some bits it needed. So the first thing I did was I added some car parking. This large car park here on the left is for fans, and then this front car park is for staff, and then this one round the side with a nice little gate is for players. I've added some trees. I changed the pathing that I had already around the stadium just to make it a bit neater as well, but nothing too much. And then I kind of added the roads and joined it up with the network, and also put some double yellow lines because I think they probably would be outside the football stadium on both sides of the road, and I think it blends in quite nicely. It was a little tricky getting it here around by the bridge, but it ended up meaning I improved the bridge actually. And if you compare this to my banner photo and indeed my intro video, you'll see that I've kind of tarted this bridge up a little bit, put some accented bits, as well as adding a road and a path texture, and actually it works a lot better. I think, yeah, I did add some road textures around here as well, just to tie all that in. Right, we're going to whiz back over to the Lido, which I finished in the last video. Now, I've added some more kind of trees around here and kind of built it into a larger forest that we can see past the fence, which is down here. I've also added a little path that runs all along the back of the map. Now, if I send us to nighttime, wrong button. If I send us to nighttime, you'll see it's got a nice spooky red glow. I don't know why I put that as a red glow, but I thought it would look good. Yeah, and this is just sort of a path through a little wood area that goes across the road and then down behind the football stadium to the canal. So that was another little addition I've got done. And going back to the Lido, I'll send us back to daytime so you can see everything. I've added a car park for the Lido, as well as some pavements leading towards it and a road joining it to the road network, and again added some trees and generally built it into the area. I've also put some houses opposite and some shops. These are quite sort of old-fashioned shops, and I think, as I said before, I will be adding text and signs to all of these shops as we go along. I've got a lot of work to do with letters coming up. What else have I done? Right, so this is the cinema, the back of the cinema. I think I've shown you the cinema. I will go around the front in a minute and show you the rest of it. Again, I've added a little car park, which is primarily a staff car park and deliveries, because this building here is multi-story car park, which was the most painful thing to make in the whole map, and I'm glad I didn't video it and show you, to be honest. Oh, it was hard, especially as it goes below the level of the ground for the sort of bottommost level of the car park, and then goes up, and working out the roads, and it's not very good. I'm not that happy with it. Time will tell if I improve it before I say this map's finished. I think I'll probably just leave it. Right, as for the cinema, this is the front of the cinema, and this is heavily based on a real cinema, which I will put up a photo now. Yeah, and I think it looks quite nice. I wanted that kind of slightly old-fashioned cinema look to it. I thought that was good. And again, this will have signs that will kind of bring it to life. Now, I also added this restaurant, which is a fairly kind of stock restaurant, which I took some of the branding off. I also, it's also a double restaurant, which I mirrored. Now, I'm sure you know how to mirror, but mirroring things in Prehistoric Kingdom is actually quite easy. I'll show you on this kind of simple thing here. So if you get a shape and then you get the scaling tool and you drag it all the other way, you've actually then got a mirror image of it. Now, it's hard to see on this because it's just a rectangle, but you do, and it's very, very useful in it. And I think it just made that a bit nicer rather than having two restaurants looking exactly the same. Behind them, I've just added a little planted area of trees, and this is probably the biggest new area, and it's a business park. So it's got some offices. There's 3 main offices, and it's got a little seating area, little courtyard. This will have some text with the names of the businesses and things like that, and it's just an area where staff can sit when the weather's nice and eat their lunch. Yeah, and I think it looks quite good. Again, making buildings like this, as well as the block of flats you can, the block of flats you can see there, is actually relatively simple, in that you make the ground floor and you make the roof, but all the middle floors are just a copy and paste. So once you get the basic shape and you get the bottom worked out and you get the first middle one, you can then progress quite quickly, really. And Prehistoric Kingdom does have a lot of air conditioning and heating system props to use, which are quite useful. And even though I think some of them are a bit American, I'm not sure they're quite the same on British buildings, still works, so I don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Right, so that's what I've been up to. Well, that's not strictly true. Let me show you something else. I'm going to whiz right to the front of the map, and that is a kind of that is a kind of cladded up genetics lab and nursery. But next to it, this is the visitor entrance. Now, if I get rid of all of this so we can see properly, and we go down, you can see that's a normal entrance, really, with the turnstiles. And then what people will see when they come in through there is Prehistoric City entrance. Let me make this dark. There's some nice spooky red lighting, and that's Prehistoric City. All of the maps I do in Prehistoric Kingdom will have the first name as Prehistoric. That's kind of what I've decided to do. I might regret that at some point, but anyway, that's not the whole of this entrance. So if I swing it around here, you'll see there's the entrance building, and then there's some doors, and then a path, and some more doors, and we go into this large car park, which is for visitors. I would love Prehistoric Kingdoms to make some car props or prefabs. That would be great. I'm sure they might. I'm sure other people might have made some. I should probably go and have a look, really, on Workshop. Anyway, you come to this door here, this gate, sorry. Just go through the door. That's what it looks like on the other side. And then you have this long road, long avenue through some trees. It goes on for quite a long time. I don't know why I made it quite this long, but I did, so bear with me. I'll go up a bit higher because you tend to travel faster. Drive all the way down this road, and you come to a tunnel. Now, if we then start going up a little bit, See, the tunnel's made out of the hillside, and then there's some trees on top. And if we keep going up, there's some more hills. More hills. And there's a lake. And there's a waterfall, which I'm really not happy with. It suddenly dawned on me now that when I'm doing a long waterfall, I should probably change the scale of the piece rather than doing multiple ones. I will experiment with that. Part of doing this was one to kind of build the city map into the wider map, but it's also to practice some more natural features that I'm going to be using in my next map, which is going to be more of a safari park and back to a kind of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World feel. Anyway, there's a lake up there, rolls down, waterfall, river, and then there's a lake at the back there. Now, you're never going to see any of this if you're in the map, but I like to, you know, do some background to everything. Now, as you see there, there's a big kind of wall all the way around, which looks horrible at the moment, but when I get a lot more of the landscaping in around the rest of it, it will start to look better, won't look so square. So, that's the map. So aside from a ton of landscaping, what else have I got to do before it's finished? Well, I have to finish this little bit of road here, which I've just realised I haven't done. I'm going to go on a fairly hefty spree of adding props to the map. So open up the props menu and just add relevant ones wherever I see that they need to go. I'm also going to be playing with the lighting because I'm not super happy with the lighting as of yet. So I will play around with that a little bit. And the next thing after that will be to do signage. So I want to give this city, town a name, and then that name's going to be kind of reflected in lots of the businesses, and certainly the football club and the cinema and the train station and the county hall and all of those buildings, and the police station and the library. Loads to do. And I also want to do street signs as well. So every street is going to have its own name, as is relevant, obviously. I think that from here around there will be one street, but obviously when it peels off from that around here, this will be a different street. But anyway, I'll get to that later. I've got a lot of work to do then. And then the final thing really is to think about adding some dinosaurs and where I want each species, well, prehistoric animals, because I'm going to put the mammoths and the woolly rhinos, etc. in as well. Just thinking where they'd fit best, really. So we'll see. Right. I think that's all I've got to update you. I would imagine that I'll get working on the props, and I will probably video that and show you that, and maybe even do that, maybe not live, but do it in real time. I won't necessarily do that as a speeded up quick build. And to some degree the same with the signage and with placing the dinosaurs, although I probably won't show you placing the dinosaurs. I think I'll just do a park tour when all the dinosaurs are in. Right then, I would like to thank everyone who's watched my videos and liked and subscribed. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, please consider it. I've got a lot coming up, lots of plans. I am sometimes a little hit and miss how quickly I get things out because I'm a busy chap, but hopefully there'll be lots for you to like and enjoy as I go on. So yeah, so please consider liking this video, consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.